Welcome, Deano.
Oh, pleasure, mate.
Thank you for coming, brother.
No
I
problem at all.
appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Thanks for the invite.
So, Deano, you've got a very prestigious, successful business currently.
Yeah, I'd say so.
But before we start talking about that, I kind of want to know the man behind the business. So what I want to do is I want to kind of take it back to like your origin.
Yep.
And then kind of like, I want to see how you ended up finding distinctive detailing.
Yeah. How far back do you want me to go?
Well, like, where'd you start? Where were you born?
So, born in northwest London.
Okay.
Harrow. Went to school in and around Kenton, Stanmore, Harrow. That's where I was brought up. Completed high school. So, I've done my GCSEs over here in London. From the age of around 7, 8, I'd say, I was going to Cyprus. So, mum and dad were going to Cyprus every year for a holiday. Would go over there, would enjoy it. Then what was happening is they were starting to talk to people, fall in love with the country, the culture, the food, etc.
Are they Greek or?
No, English.
Oh, they're English.
So, yeah, again, both born in London. And then basically, cut a long story short, my mum and dad decided to sell up in London, sell their house. They were both fed up of the fast life and the work life, etc.
Really?
And so, I completed my GCSEs over here. And then, they bought a new build in 2005, I believe it was, in Cyprus.
Did they do quite well themselves?
In regards to what work?
Like success and business?
No, just normal jobs. My mum was an estate agent. My dad was a bus driver for like 20 years.
Oh, right,
then he
fair
was
enough.
a recovery. He used to do recovery, roadside recovery.
Yeah.
So, just normal family.
And they bought like a place out in
Yeah,
Cyprus.
new
Nice.
build. Sold their property in London, which I think they regret now.
Really?
Obviously, with the house prices
the
being what they are.
Yeah, 100%. Could have made a few quid out of that.
Yeah, and then, we moved to Cyprus as a family. So
What was that like for you?
at the start, I was like, let's go. Like, we're
Oh,
going to
proper
Cyprus.
excited.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really excited. Obviously, I didn't think too much about what I was kind of leaving behind in regards to friends and I wouldn't say what I'd built because I was so young. I was only 15.
Right, okay.
But more the fact of I was leaving my friends behind, but not enough for me to go, you know what, no, I'm not going.
Yeah.
Really excited to get away and over there. The first few years, I'll say few years were very difficult.
I can
Very,
imagine.
I'm missing my friends and like just normal general life as a 15-year-old.
So you had to go to school over there? Or
I didn't go to school.
You didn't have to go to school?
So
or
basically, when I was over there in 2003 or 2004, I was only on holiday then. My dad got introduced to a guy that was a coach at a football academy. Now, I'd been playing football from the age of 7. Always loved football. At a good level, Sunday league only, but it was a very good level.
Yeah. Nice.
So he basically set up a conversation with him in a meeting. I went along and they basically said, when you move over, we can put him in a football academy.
Oh, in Cyprus, yeah?
For a couple of years,
Yeah,
see
yeah,
how he
yeah.
gets along. Can't promise anything. At that period, I'd done a few trials. He was happy with, how I was playing, etc.
Yeah, that must have been exciting for you, to be fair.
That's the bit that kind of, I suppose, in some ways I had something to concentrate and focus on.
Yeah.
So it made it a bit easier. So I was
Yeah.
going training every day, staying fit.
Yeah.
Then I was getting introduced to meeting new people, obviously the players around me.
Exactly that, yeah.
So it was good. It was good. Even though I did struggle, like I said, from time to time for a few years. In the end,
Were they all Greek? Like, were they all Greek, the guys?
Yeah, all Greek.
So what, did you have to learn it, or...?
So a lot of them used to speak English. Some of them broken English.
Right,
so there was sometimes a bit of a barrier. But it was generally speaking, I got along well
fair
with
play.
the boys.
So you played the football, and how did that go for you?
It went well. It went well to start off with. Done the academy, got put into a team. So I was playing at a very high standard, a very good level. Cyprus anyway. Maybe not the high not the same level as England. UK, because UK over here is
levels. Yeah.
But a very good level, and it went well. And then, the age of 17, 18, I was going out.
Partying with the boys.
Yeah.
Is it?
And that's where it kind of just all dipped and went downhill. I was going out. So I was living in Larnaca, which is in Cyprus. Half an hour away, we had Ayia Napa, which is a clubbing destination. So I was going there every night, mixing with the wrong people, looking back on it now, partying, getting home at 6 o'clock in the morning, get a couple of hours sleeping, go
Try to train.
Impossible.
Yeah, it's impossible. Yeah,
impossible.
It's not sustainable, is it?
No, definitely not. So that's kind of where it went downhill.
Did you not see the red flags in that, or did?
I did, but
it was too late.
It was too late.
Was it?
Looking back on it now, do I regret it? I don't regret too much in my life, but it's one of them things I look back on and go, what if I did stay focused, stay committed to the sport, maybe I could be here. Maybe I wouldn't be here now, George. So, But it is what it is.
They're all lessons. These are all lessons
100%.
anyway. Like, and whether or not you saw it then, like, hopefully you can use that for later on.
I have, definitely.
For your priorities of what you know, what is right for you and what isn't right for you.
100%, mate.
Yeah, so
it's definitely a lesson.
Yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And do you know what? I think from that point of view, it's never a waste. It's like if you've learned something as at a minimum, then it's like it's never a waste.
Yeah.
It's only if you don't take the lesson and you just go back round in circles all the time. That's
100%.
So what happened? You stayed out in Cyprus, or
I stayed out in Cyprus. So from football, obviously coming out of football, I made a decision to say, you know what, it is what it is now. I didn't fall out of love with the sport, but just because I was partying and clubbing so much. It just comes to
it.
Yeah,
you lost that.
My coach used to sit me down and go, Deano, listen, if you do this and you focus and you eat well and you go to bed early and you do all these things, you will be here.
I know.
Yeah, all right, coach. It's fine.
This is the problem when you're young. When you're young, man, we don't listen.
So I kind of said to myself, I can't commit to it. I'm not in the right frame of mind. I'd rather be here, which again now is the wrong decision, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
From there, Cyprus is very difficult. I find it very difficult because of the opportunities. Now,
especially at that time as well.
At that time,
and
then obviously the language barrier as well. At that time, I knew a little bit of Greek, maybe not enough to put me in some workplaces where I could have worked if I known fluent Greek.
Yeah.
So I was doing like odd work, like bar work, and then I would be a plumber 1 minute, and then
I was
just doing everything
man
and
of many
anything.
talents.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, why not?
That's how it was. I think I was a plumber for 1 year, working the bar. So I was just in and out of jobs, and it was like that from that time all the way up until I left Cyprus to come back to England.
It's a good mindset though, like trying new things out and like not being like, oh no, I don't want to. Like it's nice to experience new things, try things out, and like
100%.
and like get a bit more of a better understanding of yourself along that journey as well.
I agree.
To be fair.
At one point when I was doing plumbing, I was like, yeah, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
That faded out, and then
I'm the plumber.
Yeah, literally. And then one minute I'm a waiter. I'm like, yeah, I'm loving this, and then just trying to find myself.
100%.
Yeah, mate. Apart from that, that's how my life was in Cyprus for the last 5 years, I'd say. Just in and out of different jobs.
Yeah. That's an interesting experience. And then what did you just come back on your own? Did you?
Yeah, so I come back on my own.
Did you? Yeah, that's again another big leap, wasn't it? Really?
Yeah, I just kind of got to a stage because I was there for 10 years. I was like, how can I carry on my life like this, in and out of jobs? Like, listen, Cyprus is beautiful. It's a beautiful island. I love the people. I love the culture. My family's still over there. I still continue to go back there.
Mum and dad still live there, yeah?
Yeah, my mum and dad's still there with my sister.
Wow.
And I'll continue to go back. I'm going back in a few weeks. I love it.
That's wicked.
And because they're there, it gives me a reason to go over there, number one. And listen, when I go over there, it feels like home. It really does. You know, I do know a lot of people over there. I love the food. I love everything about it. But just at that time, and where I was in my life, I felt like I had to leave. I wanted to create an opportunity for me and see what London or England could offer me now. Whereas before, because I was so young,
you didn't get to experience it.
I didn't get to experience it. So it's all like what ifs and what could I do? Could I make something for myself?
100%.
Maybe I'll come back and it'll be a complete flop and I'll end up back in Cyprus.
Yeah, but it sounds proper exciting though, because it's like, you know, you're proper up for giving something a go over here.
Yeah.
And then you've came home on your own. Like, so you're proper. So what did you do? What did you do when you came over?
So come back in 2013, 2014. Didn't know what to expect, George, because I left so young. So I'm coming back, how old was I now? 25, 26? So it's a long period of time. So I didn't know what to expect.
And what, like you rented a place out?
Yeah, rented a place, come back, rented a place, had a bit of money behind me, rented a place out. I was living in North London for a bit, for a year.
That's a massive thing to do anyway on your own. Yeah.
And not really knowing. So basically, cut long story short, going back to the Cyprus thing, the last job I had in Cyprus was working for Lidl.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, so I was a forklift driver.
Got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, literally. So I was a forklift driver in Lidl warehouse. I got transferred over from Cyprus to London, which at the time, I think it's in Edmonton, the warehouse, North London. So I was working there. So I did come back to a job.
Oh, right, fair play.
Otherwise, I think it would have probably been a bit more difficult.
Yeah, definitely.
Unless I had a lot of savings behind me.
No, it's a good move because then ultimately you got that little safety net there.
Yeah, and I could find my feet.
Find your feet, 100%.
Yeah. So I worked there for like 6 months, renting. And yeah, like, mate, it was a big shock. I'm not gonna
I bet it was.
Mate, even now when I think about it, it's nuts. It's
crazy.
Yeah. Like going from obviously I used to work in Cyprus, but the lifestyle is so different. So I used to finish work at like 1 o'clock, then I'd be home,
Siestas.
sun, siesta,
Everyone would be chilling.
barbecue on.
Yeah.
Oh, I might go to the beach today, cocktail. Like, it's just different.
Yeah, London is like complete opposite.
Especially like coming back to Edmonton, and it just felt like, mate, just everyone's on the go, and I was watching people the way they're moving and operating. I'm just like, whoa, like, have I done the right thing here?
Yeah, it must have been overwhelming.
Very overwhelming.
Yeah, I could imagine.
Bearing in mind, listen, I had a few people that I was connected with from like school and stuff, but everyone's gone their own way. So like, I'm basically in this, I don't know, rat race, like, essentially alone. My family are in Cyprus.
Alone,
I haven't got anyone really around me to guide me. I'm doing everything by myself.
And how did you mentally feel? Like, how was that like affecting you mentally at the time? Like,
difficult.
Was it difficult?
Yeah, it was difficult. I had moments even then. It reminded me of when I was in Cyprus, like that period of maybe, have I done the right thing, or wanting to go back to Cyprus. So the complete opposite. But
it's massive. It's a massive move though to do, like, go on your own. Like, you've just been living in, like we said, the Cyprus for all of that time. So just to take that leap of faith was a big thing. And it does remind me of my business. Like when I did that with me, when I left my last company, and you'd be like, you take that leap, there'd be so many times you'd be like, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? Even this podcast, it'd be like, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? But you just got to keep like persevering, I suppose. And I suppose that's what you did.
Yeah. But
because you could have gone back.
Yeah, I could have, but it was too soon. I was like, I need a longer period of time to actually give this a go. I knew that I was never going to be in Lidl for the rest of my life, but I also didn't know where I was going to be in another 6 months' time.
Yeah, 100%.
And then from Lidl moved into sales, doing sales jobs. I've done loads of random jobs, man. I just didn't know where I wanted to be, George. It's not like I'm sitting there going, you know what, I want to be a lawyer or a policeman, or I was at that level of my life, just trying to find my feet over here. Yeah. Difficult.
But you know, massive respect for putting yourself out there and like trying new things out, and like, you know, because you could have been a bum, you could have
of course
stayed a little, I suppose, and just had
seen it out.
You seen that out.
I wasn't happy there.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer. If I'm not happy somewhere, I don't really want to put up with it. If that makes sense, I always try new things, and I always want to better myself. So
respect that.
Yeah, and then in and out of sales jobs, random sales jobs. Like I said, I remember I was working for a company, George, in London, central London, to get on the train every day. Even that was a nightmare. Like, mate, on a train? Are you mad? Like, Cyprus, I was on a little scooter, get from A to B in like 10 minutes, no traffic. I'm like travelling from one part of London to the other part of London. It's taken 2 hours. I'm like, I travel from one part of the island in Cyprus to another in an hour and a half.
Yeah,
this is nuts.
Right. Yeah, so now you get a train
hot, sweating, random sales job in London. I remember just like, it was basically essentially cold calling. Like, you know when you see someone in a supermarket that works for like Oxfam or RSPCA and they try to sign you up for like £8 a month.
Windows and stuff like that. You see like
I was
people
doing that.
Oh, were you?
I was doing that. I remember like doing 12-hour, 13-hour shifts. Doing that, getting on my own, unhappy, knocking on doors, raining, wet.
Yeah.
I was just like, I have to do what
do you feel like you learned through that as well? Like, because that's like, people don't like rejection. People like being a salesperson is a tough job, man.
Rejection.
Rejection. Yeah, did you? Learn the power of rejection.
The power and how you deal with rejection and consistency. Like, I could knock on 100 doors and I might get 5 people answer. I might get no one answer.
Yeah.
But it's like, just how it is. Like, I might not get any sign-ups that day. But then the next, it's just how it's rejection.
Yeah. That's a big lesson at an early age as well, because we don't realise that rejection ends up holding us back in multiple different ways. Like, it generally can make us feel quite uncomfortable.
Yeah, literally.
So how long did you do that for?
Oh, mate, 3-4 months.
Did you?
Yeah, I just
you stuck it out for that.
Yeah, even that was massive. That time, 4 months. And that was it. Onto a estate agency.
Really? Yeah.
My mum's.
Yeah, she had friends in the industry. And
25 years she was doing it over here. She still does it in Cyprus.
Oh, nice. For the same company or?
No, different company.
Different company.
She used to work in Wembley Park for 25 years. And then she went into property over in Cyprus. But I was like, let me try. She's been in it for so long. Maybe maybe it could be it.
You could have a knack for it as well.
Yeah. And then I'd done that really for 4 or 5 years. So
nice.
That was kind of my thing. I really enjoyed it.
Did you?
Really enjoyed it. Yeah, I really enjoyed property.
What did you like about it the most?
I think for me, it gave me a level of like, I learned communication. The communication skills were different, like dealing with landlords and having to get properties on the market, and even like on a computer. I didn't have any computer skills. English skills were probably terrible as well.
Yeah.
So writing, mate, there's a lot. There's a lot that I learned. But communication was a big thing.
Yeah. Because like, I tell you, like, even in that short period of time, you know, you can learn about rejection, but when you stay at a place for a bit longer, you can also excel in a lot of other skills as well. Because sometimes we're too quick to jump ship onto something else without really experiencing what we got to experience. And then what do we really kind of learn? We don't, you know, you only end up doing a percentage of it rather than getting to really fully absorb the role.
Exactly that.
So it was like, so that was for like 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Yeah.
That led me up until 2018.
Right. And what was kind of like the pinnacle point for you for like leaving that place?
It wasn't even leaving that place. Like the last year of doing it, I just got fed up of the way things were. I don't know if you want to say the industry.
You felt a bit like you had to put a persona on. You had to be something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
but I was also, I felt disheartened maybe as well. The progression, like doing it for 5 years, I didn't feel like the progression, I wasn't getting enough progression. I felt like I was in the same place and I wasn't moving forward. And because I'm a hard worker and I give so much to something, I was like, well, where am I going with this? All right, I can be manager. Is that ever going to be enough? Is it going to be a reward enough? Okay, cool. When I'm manager, now where am I going? Like, so... Yeah,
would you say you always had that entrepreneurism spirit, like that you always wanted to do more? You always wanted to go that extra distance and push yourself further.
Push myself.
Yeah,
I'm a believer in knowing where can I go, and I know when I get to that point. It's the same now today in this business. Where I'm excited, where can I go? Like, where can I take this? And this is my point with the estate agency thing. I felt like I couldn't go anymore, so I'm done here. I'm gone.
And you obviously didn't like what the future looked like in that kind of, you know, you could have gone up the ranks, but where that led to is something that you weren't, you know, quite happy about, I suppose.
Yeah,
so
exactly that.
Yeah. At least you learned what you got to learn through it, and that's kind of like the good thing about having that consistency in what you're doing.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Mate, I just got to a point where I was like, I didn't want to go to work.
Oh, really? Yeah, like, you got really disheartened from the situation?
Yeah, I was waking up, I was like, I'm not going in today. And then, like, forcing myself to go, making excuses, I'm not well.
Yeah.
Like, now I've got to the point where I'm like, now what, though, George? Where am I going now?
Yeah. I to be honest, I used to do exactly the same thing. And I was at the same place for 12 years. But I rather than doing what you did of moving around and experiencing new things, which I do think there's a lot of positives with that, I stayed at the same place for 12 years, but I had all of those emotions, like the up and down. Well, I just stayed there for the sake of it, really. I don't think I actually felt like I had much of a choice, which was a strange...
Why is that?
Because my dad worked there, so it was like at 16 he was like, do you want a job? And I was like, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and it was an easy option for me to fall into that, and I excelled in that industry, but I was really unhappy, and I don't think I thought, like, you just got to get on with it, work is work. That's that kind of mindset I think my dad might have distilled on it, like, upon to me, so I just got on with it. And I did struggle a lot, but one thing I would say is I became very resilient through that process, because I know, like, when life gets tough, some people are very quick just to, like, run away from it. And sometimes you got to break through that barrier, because there's something good on the other side of it, if that's what you truly want. And it's it's hard to balance that off at times. So you were kind of struggling, and did you just kind of end up leaving and quitting?
Yeah, it got to that point. Obviously, before that, I was thinking, what can I do? I didn't want to just leave and not have anything, because if that had ended, like I said, where am I going now? What am I going to be? Am I going to fall back into, I don't know, Lidl, into a warehouse? I did not know where I was going to go. So I had a period where, for, I don't know, 2 to 4 weeks, where I was sitting there, coming home from work, unhappy, but thinking, okay, cool, so what's my next step? Going online, looking at jobs, seeing what it was about. But I was like, you know what? I want to set my own thing. Like, I just want to do my own thing, George. Maybe that's the best place for me, because then I can excel and I can go wherever I want to take it. Maybe that's the best option for me. Maybe that's why I keep jumping in and out of jobs. Who knows? So I questioned it. Always loved cars. Like, always been around cars, fanatical about cars. But I'm sitting there going, I don't want to be a mechanic. I don't want to be, I don't know, work for the RAC. I don't want to do that. That's not going to no disrespect to anyone else for the RAC.
No, of course.
But I want to create something for myself.
Well, the good thing is at that point, you went through all of that experience as well. And you were like, I kind of got a good idea of what I want at this point.
Yeah.
Which is nice because then there's direction.
Yeah.
Like, you know where to angle it. So,
yeah.
So what was the passion? Well, I kind of know the passion already, but
before I go on to this, I got to say there was a guy that was working with me in the estate agency. So he was sat next to me, and he used to have a Ford RS, if I believe correctly, and he used to love cleaning his cars, George.
Did he?
Like, he would have a detailing bag in the back of the boot. He'd have all the products, and now I look back on it, he triggered my thought process into setting up what I'm doing today.
Did he?
I truly believe it. Like, don't get me wrong, I loved cars. I wasn't too sure what route I was going to take it, like in regards to setting up my own business. But looking back on it now, I believe he triggered it. So I've probably got a lot to thank him for. Without him even knowing about it.
Yeah.
So
it's mad as well because it's like these sequence of events, like just some small or large moment in time that can like impact and create like a ripple effect.
Yeah.
That can create some amazing opportunities for yourself because you're like, if that didn't happen, then that might not have happened. Yeah. Then you might not have been here sitting on the podcast, sort of thing. So it's like mad. It's mad. So is that's what you did? You started I
just started looking into like even just car products online and the mobile valeting and detailing, and was there a market for it? Were there people doing it? Like, I didn't have a clue. Like, I really didn't.
Help me with this one. What is detailing?
So detailing, you can go to the levels of, machine polishing. Okay. So moving any imperfections out of a paintwork to, listen, you could have a car. I could have a car for 4 to 5 days. I can start taking seats out, cleaning headlining.
Wow.
It's very intricate.
Yeah.
Wheels off, bolts, polishing this, polishing that, underside of the car.
That's very advanced for that type of work, I suppose, that you're doing. Like,
exactly. Leather care, protection. So it's not just cleaning a car.
Yeah.
There's levels.
There is levels, 100%.
There's levels.
But did it initially start at just... No, okay.
It started off with the basics.
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about machine polishing. I didn't know anything about protection or leather care or anything like that. So it was just... And I always said, if I'm going to do something, let's start with the basics. Let's master the basics. And once we master the basics, then I can look into the more advanced stuff like machine polishing and protection. Yeah,
that's a very wise way of looking at it.
And there's a lot of guys in this industry that want to learn how to machine polish from day one because, number one, that's where the money is at. Number two, they can offer more services. But I was like, no, let's get the basics.
Yeah, don't run before
you know how to clean a car, forget machine polishing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Let's learn a little detail, intricate areas first of a car. And
but that kind of that leads on to the machine polishing, where it's like you can't bypass the car washing bit to just machine polish because then obviously people are going to be like, oh, I want my car cleaned as well. It's like they end up doing a crap job of that, but then making so you can see how like that's a little bit of a kind of trap in the mindset of you got to build the blocks and like slowly take stepping stones. Yeah.
100%.
So that's exactly what you did. And then so how did you get your clientele? Like how you obviously had to start off very small and you probably had to do jobs like really cheap, I imagine. And like
I didn't know anyone in the industry or anyone that was related to cars, and there's no one I could even call and said, listen, I'm setting up my business, I need help. So I was like, here, starting off scratch, registered the company, got my business cards printed, got my van set up, and I was like, cool, got the energy, let's do this, but where are we going? How am I getting the clients?
Yeah, wow.
So I got a call from a family friend who owns a MOT and service garage at the time was Winchmore Hill.
Oh, nice.
So like, Deano, I've seen like what you've done and you set up your business, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's like, right, what I do is I buy and sell cars in auction. I don't know how I'm going to get these cars and the condition of the cars. So it's like, what we could do is if you come down here twice a week, and when I get a car, I can't guarantee how bad it's going to be because it can be really bad.
Okay.
But if you're willing to take on these jobs, I'll take you on for like a couple of days a week and that can start you off.
Yeah, fair enough.
And then
so
you
pay
can
you a
have
day
them,
rate.
day rate
standard.
or whatever it may be. And then you can put them cars before or afters, whatever, on your social media pages or whatever it may be.
Oh, so they were nice cars off the
They weren't the greatest of cars, but it was just something to work with because I had nothing.
Enough.
So actually putting something on my socials or saying, look, I have worked on this car, and also to show that I can. This is the level I'm at. It was a good starting point.
And have you like always done the social media consistently since you've started?
Yeah,
well, you've got a good like social following and like but you started that from day. And do you think that had a massive impact on your clientele as well?
Now, yes.
Yeah.
Looking back on it, but from day one, again, I didn't even know where that was going to go.
It was just a portfolio of photos of like your work, essentially.
Literally. I knew looking back on social media and people in my industry, people obviously uploading on social media. So I thought, that's the normal thing to do. And why not utilize it because it's free?
Yeah.
So I wasn't ever going to lose out.
Free marketing.
So I thought, let me go down that route. And this was, again, 2008, so 4 years ago. And at that time, it was quite fresh. Not fresh because Instagram has been going for a long time.
Yeah.
But now I believe it's much harder now to market yourself on these platforms.
100%. There's so much content on there. Yeah.
So much content.
Yeah.
And we're overwhelmed with content on a daily. So when I hit it, I felt like I hit it at the right time.
Nice.
So yeah, social media has played a big part and still does today.
So you're so you were doing a couple of days there and then trying to fill the gaps in. How many days a week would you say you were working when you started this business?
Yeah.
Were you like because I've met entrepreneurs that are like full 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, whatever. But then other people that are like five days shut off and stuff like that.
So I was doing, I'd say on average, 2 to 4 days within the first 3 months. So it's nothing crazy. So it's 2 days in that garage. And then I might have another 2 days where people have called in. But what was helping is where I was at that service garage, I had my van outside. So it's branded.
Yes. What, the same? No, it can't be the same van you got.
No. To be honest, I've still got that van.
Have you?
I've still got that van. I still got that van. I've got another van now as well, but yeah, I've still got that van. It was branded up. It was outside, so obviously exposed to people driving past. So then I was getting business from that as well. So people would walk by, drive by, or even maybe not even come in and say hello, but take my number and call me. I've seen your van outside Winchmore Hill, etc., etc. So I'd get clients from that. And
were they quite prestigious clients from the off-start?
No,
or were they just day-to-day people, needed their car cleaned?
Day-to-day people,
normal
day-to-day cars, nothing fancy, anything from a VW Polo to a, I don't know, a Megane. Or a normal BMW.
Nice.
Normal day-to-day cars.
Yeah, fair enough.
We're not talking high-end.
And what was your mindset like? Were you like, as soon as there was an opportunity, like, would you just pounce all over it and just take it while it was there? Would you like, what were you like? I'm curious to know that because I know what I was like, and I was a madman. Like, whenever a job presented itself, I was there within 2 hours, sort of thing.
I was an animal.
Yeah.
I still am.
Yeah. Because there's a lot to be said about somebody's success and what they're willing to put into it to make it.
So away from me cleaning cars, so like I said, I had, say, 2 to 4 days where I was working the week. Let's go on average 3, so it leaves me 4 days of the week. So I'm not sitting there. I'm not at home. I'm thinking of ways, how can I get new business? So it could be the point of, I don't know, reaching out to someone on social media, saying, this is who I am. This is what I do. Remember the name. If you don't use me now, I'm guaranteed you'll be using me in the future.
Nice.
One of them ones.
And that's all like where the sales skills probably came into
My
it.
point. So going back to what I learned from the estate agency, where I was picking up the phone all the time, cold calling and knocking on 100 doors to get one answer. That was my mindset. Of like, cool, the work's not going to come to me. I'm new into this game. No one knows who.
That's cool.
Sorry, mate. No one knows who I am. So it would be the case of knocking on doors, putting old school ways. Leaflets through.
Yeah, I did that at one point.
Let's get the brand out there. No one's going to find me. I've got to put it in front of them.
Yeah, fair play. And I suppose like from that sales, you might want to educate me on this as well, because I haven't done sales at all. But I feel like you've got to have that strong confidence with, like, you got to make sure you even believe what you're selling is.
Yeah.
And I had a belief about my own business, but when you're going out into like the open market and pushing, like, it must have been quite tough to know that unless you, like, people wouldn't believe in you unless you started believing in yourself. You obviously pushed it, like, and
going back to that rejection thing when I was telling you before, where I used to get rejected, I had no fit. So I'm in this different mindset now. Knock on the door or wherever, if I call someone or message someone on Instagram, say, can I clean your car, wherever it may be, this is who I am. You don't answer, it's cool. If you don't pick up, it's cool. If you tell me to F off,
You just got to keep it moving.
Keep it moving. I'll go on to the next one. I'll keep it moving.
Yeah, that's wicked. I love
the mindset, man. So like I said, as much as I was only doing 2, 3, sometimes 4 days a week, I was doing other stuff in the background. You know, I was always constantly communicating with people, knocking on people's doors, networking, putting myself in the right places. It might even be a car meet. Cool, car meet. Like, let's go to a car meet. There's people there with cars. They are potential clients. This is who I am. Again, this is my card. This is why I'm different.
Yeah, 100%. Like, what was like? I found in business that a lot of people have to establish a why, like why you were doing this. And what was your kind of like your why, your purpose of your motive, let's say, for like that driving force? Because you was obviously like pushing like really strong, and something's got to be like in your back in mind. Like, were you trying to prove it to someone? To
prove it to myself.
Prove it to yourself.
From going back to Cyprus and the football.
Yeah. Nice.
That's where that whole motivation come from.
Yeah.
Because I knew that I didn't dedicate myself enough to football.
Yeah.
And I've always had this question in my head: what if I did?
Yeah.
Where could I be? Now there's no what ifs.
So that was that
all out.
That football thing was a big blessing then, really.
Massive.
Yeah. So it's mad because we look at these things as regrets, didn't we? And then like knowing that that's what shifted your mindset and helped. Yeah. You know, if you that's a wicked, man.
So I said to myself, if I focus and dedicate myself enough, and I put in the hours, I will be here. There's no.
There's
and that's why I took that risk in the first place.
You
know, I was very confident that it was a what if this doesn't work? No, this is going to work now. There's no choice now. We're doing this, and we're going, and we're going to kill it.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. So you so what? You got another client, then just another client, one.
Yeah.
And how did so you obviously had the massive determination. How was your mental state through all of that as well? Like, what was it? Because one thing on entrepreneurship I find is it can be quite a lonely place. Like when you're doing this, and it's not many people can relate to you. You know, obviously as you get older, you can surround yourself with the right type of people. But when you're fully on that ship on your own and you got to do it day in and day out, that can be quite a painful process.
I was excited more than anything. At the start, it didn't take a toll of me. I was buzzing.
Yeah, well,
at the start, I'm fresh. I'm good. I can do 15-hour days.
Yeah.
We'll do it for 6 months, we'll do it for a year.
Yeah.
It's after.
Yeah.
It's like going to the gym. You want to get big.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, you really, in theory, you should be going 4, maybe 5 times a week. If you're going 7 days a week, what's going to happen?
You're going to burn out.
You're going to burn out.
Yeah.
So you might enjoy it in the time, go, I'm getting big. You're going to burn out. So in the time, it was good.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll touch base on that, about the burnout situation, the mental health. But at the start, it was good.
Yeah, you was like full of energy.
Yeah, and as work's coming in,
I was the
and
same.
it's all flowing, and the business is growing.
In
the space within like 6 months to a year, I'm buzzing.
Yeah,
I'm good.
Yeah, do you know what? It was quite. It was probably like a good year, 18 months. I was okay, but then I think the stress. Because what was happening was I was getting busier and busier and busier, so I didn't have a choice but to try and do something different. Because it became so overwhelming. I'd go into jobs and I'd be getting like 15 phone calls while I'm in that job. Like, I've got a problem. And I'm like, and I'm trying to fix this guy's toilet at the same time. Like, that's what my life was like at one point. So I had to switch it up and start employing people, I suppose. That was, so you was actually like getting busier and busier. Did you go through anything like that? Did you have to start telling people no at some point?
Yeah, there was points where I was saying no. But then that's when I knew, when I was saying no too many times, I was like, now what?
Something's wrong.
Something's
wrong.
I've hit a wall.
Yeah.
So it's either take someone on or be content and happy where I am and just say, you know what, this is what it is. I can't take in any more clients. I've got my regular clients and that's it. It's done. The business is here. It's stopped.
You did it, yeah.
No, but I'm saying... that's what my thought process was.
Right.
You've got two options. We go.
Yeah.
And we build it.
We go
and
we
get
grow.
someone in and we grow.
Yeah,
or we stop here and just be happy where it is.
Yeah, but you didn't have
me
that
being
money.
Yeah. From the start, I'm like, we're going.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm not stopping.
100%. Do you know what though? I have to admit, like, no was a big problem in my vocabulary. Like, even when I practically couldn't do it, I really struggled to say no. And I felt bad because I probably let people down in the process a couple of times. But, you know, my intention was always pure. Yeah, I'll come round and like sort it out. And then like they'd be chasing me a lot. And then I would eventually go round, but I'd just be so overwhelmed that I just didn't know how to handle it at times. So, but yeah, so it was. And then like you've obviously said about you either go and you grow or you stay the same. And it was quite funny because I've always had that mindset about next mountain to climb, but it's always like, be careful what you wish for. I don't know if is that what happened next, or because you have to be a different person when you level up a business. You have to level up as well. So you it's a bit of a different dynamic, a different experience that you know. And there's like your job, just like any job, doesn't just require you to clean cars. You've got insurances, you've got accounts, you've got to like chase payment, you've got to send pay. Like there's so many things that you've got to do.
I'm glad you touched base on that.
Yeah. And a lot of people really do struggle with it.
Yeah, struggle, or sometimes looking in, again, going back to that Instagram thing of people see what I put up. So it might be the fancy cars now, or even going back to the beginning of the cars that I was putting up. You're not seeing what's going on behind what I'm doing. So when you're calling me at 10:30, and then you call me again at 10:35, and then again at... I'm cleaning a wheel.
Yeah.
I'm under a car. And that side of things, again, still to today, is sometimes very difficult. Because you've got admin, I've got to deal with an accountant. I was doing 10 jobs at once. And I've got my phone ringing, and the emails are popping off. And I got a message from Instagram. So it's very difficult, especially when you're hands-on.
See, the difficulty that I faced with it was people, like I was always a bit of a people pleaser. So then what would happen is, can you do this? Yeah, no problem. But you need to focus on the fundamentals of your business, because if you don't look after your business, you ain't got anything anyway. Correct. So like, it's nice to look after the clientele, but there's a little bit of like prioritizing as and when. Yeah. And like, do you know what? Like, I think one thing you got to be careful about is that like, people can take a lot of energy from you. So if you don't be responsible and like prioritize the right thing at the right time, then it's chaos. Yeah, it's like chaos. That's what really happens,
and that's what can get on top of you.
Yeah,
when you're going home at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and you've got all these messages to reply to, it doesn't stop. So I've cleaned the cars. The jobs are being completed for that day, but now I've got to continue to work maybe until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock. And replying to everyone. So.
Yeah, and is that even the case now? Like.
It is, but I've got to let go.
Yeah. You've got to give you a breathing.
I struggle with it. My service is very personal. My clients, some of them have become friends, and it's that level. And my service is, like I said, very personal. So everyone's got my number. It's direct through me. Do I want to set that off to someone else? Yeah, 100%. I've always wanted to do it. For the many years, like the last 2 years, I wanted to do it. But I'm still in this position, like... Maybe I'm scared, maybe it's fear, I don't know. But I know I've got to let it go.
It requires the level up version of yourself to help level up the business sort of thing, Because
if I don't do it, then I don't believe, I'm not saying the business can't grow, but I'm spending a lot of my time still replying to people, still engaging with people, which is great, still uploading on social media, still with the camera. Again, I've still got multiple jobs. Which I kind of want to let go. But
I think there's a lot to be said about that, because I like to think people buy the human being. They don't just buy the brands. They like the person behind the brand. Like, so it's doing that and giving people the same thing without, or a similar thing without completely losing touch with it in its entirety.
Yeah.
So like, because I really struggled with it, and it was like, oh no, I just want George to come to my house. And it was like, I can't, like, I'm still here, and I'm like, it's not like I'm just completely out of the picture altogether. It's just that I can't manage all of this and deal. And unfortunately, the grand scheme of it is you will lose, like, you will lose clientele because of it, because some people just really can't understand it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, like, if like you want to grow, you want to take yourself to another level, and it's like what you're prepared to like let go of in the process.
100%.
And you got to let go of your ego, you got to let go of being arrogant, you got to let go of a lot of things, like, and it might be some clients that are holding you back. It just might be.
At the beginning, I lost a lot of clients, and that was to do with pricing and structure. When I first started, I was charging anything between £15, £25.
Oh, were you? Yeah.
And I was spending 4 hours on a car. I wasn't making money, George.
No.
Do you get what I'm saying? So I got to a level where I was like, well, I can't stay here, because number one, I'm not making money. So what do? I have to put my prices up. If I put my prices up, I'm going to lose this person. But what do? Do I stay still and stay static? So I had to put my prices up. I lost clients. But then I gained.
That risk.
I took that risk.
Yeah.
So it's pretty similar to that. I've got to take the risk now.
I think there's do you know what though? I think there's a lot to be said about your self-worth, because when you do go out on your own, I don't think we understand what our real self-worth is. Like, so we're working late at night, we're doing all of these things, like, and then like 25, like I think that was probably even worse than what I was doing certain things for. Like, so that's like 4 hours at 25. Don't get me wrong, like it's a means to an end, and like everybody's got to start somewhere. So, but yeah, it's like you've got to be commercially. Not only have you got to have good personality skills, you got to like be a good operator. You got to have commercialism. You got to be an accountant. You got to do all of these different things. So, yeah, like I can see how you have to let go of certain clientele to then. So you obviously took that risk. And what happened?
Lost a lot of people.
Lost a lot of people.
Basically, I wouldn't say lost enough to go back to day one, but lost enough people to think, shit, like.
Did you not have like another branch already set up to swing to, or was it like, so as in, did you not already have some where you wanted to put your prices up, or did you thought, no, I've just got to put them up?
I got to the point where I have to.
Yeah.
It's no nice way of doing it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it wasn't like it was a massive increase. It was a little increase.
Tenner.
But enough for people to go, 1 minute, you've been charging me this amount for the last year and a half. How you charge me now another £10? It was a huge thing to some people. You know, that was their limit.
That's mad.
You know? And I was spending at times.
It's a little bit insulting though as well, because you're obviously a nice guy. Like you've obviously done very well. You don't just become, successful by accident, right? So I can imagine you gave something that they probably weren't getting anywhere
for too long though.
For a long time.
For a long time.
Yeah,
so when I got to the point of changing it, it was like, well, 1 minute, you've left it for like this for a year and a half.
Yeah.
Surely another 6 months ain't gonna matter. Well, you can do me a favour.
Yeah, I know.
Don't worry about mate boy down the road. So yeah, I had to lock a lot of people off, unfortunately. It's weird. I still talk to these people. Like they're still there, and I still contact. Like even on my birthday, I had one from. I haven't seen this person for 2 years, but happy birthday, Deano. So I've never left on a bad.
That's really good.
Yeah, it's
That's
still
really
nice. But yeah, so I put my prices up, and then now I've got a structure where every 6 months I review it, see where we're at. Is it right? Things go up, fuel, water, products.
Yeah, 100%.
I'm trying to go in with.
Do you find inflation? Did you find like in the last few years that had quite an impact?
Yeah, most definitely. And the thing is, George, it might be £1 here, it might be a couple of pounds here, a product might have gone, but if you don't move with the times, you get left behind.
Yeah.
And I did see it did impact the business, enough for me to notice it anyway. So again, you put your prices up, people come with you, get left behind, and it's just like that is a pattern.
Yeah,
it's never going to destroy the business enough for me to have nothing.
No, because you always had that mindset, didn't you, of like always pushing yourself and like finding the opportunity, networking.
Of course.
Would you say then, like as you put your prices up, you started dealing with a different type of client? Yeah, is that basically what happened?
Yeah, essentially. So where my prices are a bit higher, I think people might have looked at it and gone, oh, 1 minute, he charges that amount for a wash. What's he doing different to other? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a mentality thing.
Yeah. It's like, wow, what am I going to get with this?
Yeah, mate, I done a Porsche 911. It was probably my first ever like high-end car. Never done a high-end car before. So we're doing supercars, Porsches, Lambos, whatever it may be. Got a Porsche 911 one day. So happy. I was like, when this goes on the page, it's going to blow up. I've always wanted to do a Porsche
100%.
Mate, within 2 days, what happens? I get another call from another owner. I've got a Porsche 911.
Oh,
it's a mentality thing. It must be like, oh, he's cleaned a Porsche 911, so he must be good enough for my one.
Yeah.
Lambo went on the page, another Lambo.
Oh, wow.
Ferrari, another Ferrari.
Oh, is it?
And now you're dealing with people that own supercars. Yeah. So now the recommendations are completely different. They're recommending to them the mate down the road who's got 3 or 4 cars. So now I'm picking 3, 4 cars up at one time.
That's
and
incredible.
It just changed.
Yeah, that's incredible.
It's changed the concept of everything.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And you've managed to like sustain a lot of them clients over the years?
Yeah, a lot of them. I've got a lot of repeat custom. We offer maintenance, a maintenance service where we regularly visit our clients. It could be 1 week, it could be 3 weeks. So we've got...
consistent. Yeah, nice.
Yeah, and they run all year round.
Yeah, that's
so
brilliant.
I've got them there.
Yeah, that's great. And as long as you keep delivering and doing a good job and keep showing up
all year round,
everyone's happy.
Yeah, and especially, like I said, if someone's got 3, 4, 5 vehicles on a driveway, it's massive, it's huge.
What was the kind of maddest moment for you where you were like, this is insane, like what you were doing was insane? Like, was there a really impactful moment where you were just a bit like, this is mad, like compared to where you came from and like...
Yeah. There was one day I got a call from a guy. he called and said I got a Porsche, funny enough. I said, okay, cool, no worries. Like, kind of went through everything with him. I said, I'll send you a list of services that we offer, prices, how it's structured. Have a look at it, and we'll go from there. Anyway, I sent him over the details. I said, oh, by the way, I forgot to ask, what Porsche is it? So he goes, oh, funny enough you say that. It's you have to be careful here, but I don't want you to kind of spread the word. It's private. Like, so what I tell you now, it doesn't go any further. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Like, I'm all about trust and et cetera, et cetera. So there's a Porsche Carrera Zagato. Now, I didn't know what that was.
No.
Yeah? I know Porsche Carrera. You've added the Zagato bit onto it.
Yeah.
So I'm on Google. So I get off the phone to him. I go on Google.
Proper, like, limited edition.
Mate, 1 of 6 in the world.
What? 1 of 6?
In the world. Only 1 believed to be registered in the UK.
What? How much is something like this worth?
So, funny enough, this was like 2 years ago. I'd done this job for this guy. I'm still in contact with him. It sold last week in auction. Don't get me wrong, there's cars that have gone for 20, 30, 40 million.
Yeah.
This was, what I say only, it was 1.4 million.
Okay, was it? Yeah.
So it's not like crazy. Well, for us, it might be.
100%.
Still a lot of money.
Yeah.
But
like
that moment there, when I was in front of that car, the whole setup, we got a turntable, gates open, the car comes out. And because it's so rare, it's not about the price, it's the rareness. I'm working on something now that maybe no one in the UK has ever worked on.
Yeah.
I was telling myself
Let alone never seen, probably.
Never seen.
Yeah.
This car gets locked up. It only gets brought out where there's a special event. So you're not going to see this car on the road. Very rare. And now I'm sitting or standing, whatever you want to say, in front of this car. This is
mad. And especially for someone who's got a big passion for cars already. Yes. It's like, And
I took myself back to the moment of day one. I'm in a service garage working on, again, no disrespect to anyone who owns a Vauxhall Corsa. Mm-hmm. I'm working on a Vauxhall Corsa. I just come from an auction. Charging £20. Now I'm here working on a 1.4 million car. I only know that because it sold last week.
Yeah.
It's mad.
Yeah.
It's nuts. And I've been in a lot of situations like that since.
Yeah.
Some mad stories, things that I've seen.
Have you cleaned a Bugatti yet? Or?
Yeah, I've done Bugattis.
Have you done
I've done Bugattis even off-site, so things that I can't even post on social media. This is another thing.
Oh, right.
There's clients that I deal with and cars that I work with that I can't even
Private
talk about. I can say I worked on a Bugatti.
Yeah.
I can't tell you anything more.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of things that I can't put up on social media, unfortunately.
Maybe you can tell me after the after the film.
100%. But just knowing that I've done it and I'm there and that's where I'm at and the level, it's special.
Exciting, man. That's
it's very exciting.
Yeah, like to be fair, like that guy that just like was 15 that moved to Cyprus and didn't really know what he was doing, and then he's like got all the way to this place. That's a power move, man. Like I really. Nice. And I love the fact that you've gone through that journey trying to like experience thing. So like. Obviously, you can't mention everybody, but what sort of clients do you work with now? Like from, like the type of people that you're working with. Mm-hmm. Is it like specifically celebrities? Is it just wealthy people?
A mixture of both. The thing is, we still do the Vauxhall Corsas. I worked on a transit van last week.
Did you? Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So we're still doing work like that. But what you would normally see on our page is the Lamborghinis, the Ferraris, the Bugattis, high net worth individuals, CEO of, I don't know, let's throw a company out there, Coca-Cola could be. Celebrity wise, you've got Stormzy, we've done Conor Ben, we've done. There's a big list. Yeah. Ian Poulter, who's a golfer. There's a big. list
I saw that on your Insta recently. Didn't you get for Lawrence a hat?
Yeah, I got Lawrence a hat. Yeah, which you've just recently had on the podcast.
I really enjoyed that. To be fair.
Yeah.
So where do you like cover? Like, is it any specific areas, or you go wherever the work is?
We go wherever the work is. Most of our work, I'd say, is around North London. I'd say about 70% is North London. So you've got Barnet, Cockfosters, Southgate, etc.
Oh, literally all tied up in that area.
Quite tight.
Yeah.
And then you've got Central London. So you've got Knightsbridge, Chelsea, Mayfair. Got a lot of clients around there now. But we'll go as far as, mate, I've been Manchester. I've been a couple of hours Peterborough, and other side of Heathrow. Like, we go where the work is.
Yeah, 100%.
But generally speaking, where our client base is North London and Central London.
Fair play. And you know Jan really well as well, Yanamize. How did that happen?
Going back to knocking on the doors and being consistent. If I remember correctly, I approached or tried to get in contact with Jan via Instagram, knowing full well that I probably wouldn't get a reply because he's bombarded with messages every day.
Yeah.
So I went down that route first, and I was like, cool, he hasn't replied. Sweet. Me being me, I called. Is Jan there? No, Jan's in Dubai. Cool. I emailed. No reply. what can I do now? I'm sitting here a couple of weeks gone by, haven't heard nothing. What's the next step? Let me call his manager, Bert at the time.
Oh, yeah.
Called up, Bert's not here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm going through the whole process with someone else now. I managed to be so consistent that I was like, I'm not going to stop. I need to get some form of... Someone needs to tell me no, basically. But I need to get in front of Jan. So Jan was in Dubai. Bert called me and was like, my M3's here. You've obviously been very consistent. Like, you're trying to get in contact with this, like, with us so much. Come down. So I said to him, I pass by every day. Like, let me just come in, introduce myself, and that's it. So I done Bert's car at the time when he had an M3, cleaned his car.
Which again, and all of this was like a really good move as well for your own business, like
of course,
growth
massive.
As well. Yeah,
Huge.
I can see. So yeah, sorry, I interrupted you.
Nice, cool, man. So I went down there, cleaned Bert's car. Cut long story short, done that, left, not thinking nothing of it. Jan's obviously come back. Bert's then had a conversation with Jan. I was like, look, mate, I've had this guy in, yeah.
He won't leave us alone.
He won't leave us alone, number one.
yeah.
Like, you need to get him in ASAP because he's shit hot. He's good at what he does, yeah?
Nice.
So Jan then called me, went down to meet Jan. Jan basically said exactly the same what Bert said. I heard that you're good at what you do. I want to test you on my car. So I said, cool, I'll clean your car, it's not a problem.
Yeah.
Spent like 4, 5, 6 hours down there, done his car, and then that was it, mate. The rest is history.
Did he pay you?
He did.
He did, yeah, nice.
He did pay me. Yeah, and that's it. And that was like 3 years ago now. So again, going back to what I was saying, is being consistent and just keep knocking on that door until you say no. Listen, timing was perfect as well. And that's it. Like I said, the rest is history. But me and Jan have got a great relationship. He's helped me a lot.
You do a lot of business together even today?
A lot of business together, even 3 years on. Or even on a personal level, like, we're good. He's helped me a lot.
Do you know what? I've met him like a couple of times now as well, and he's been like, he's always given advice. He's always like, he's quite humble like that, to be fair. He doesn't owe anyone anything.
No.
So,
and he'll never want anything back, bro. Like, he's such a humble guy. He's such a nice guy. He's always had time for me. He's always given me time, given me advice, which I always appreciate. So yeah, man, Jan's been a massive part to play in my journey, and even some of the clients that he gives me now.
Even
huge.
today, yeah.
Even
He's got a lot of network himself.
Yeah,
so
Stormzy.
Yeah. Oh, was it? Oh, of course.
Bro.
I mean, Jan was in his music video, wasn't he?
Yeah, one day hopefully I'll be there. at that level.
Yeah, 100%.
Right now I'm just cleaning his cars.
That's good enough, man. I'll be over the moon if I start fixing his toilet. So
Funny thing about that, actually, Jan called me and was like, "Would you go to Kingston?" And I was like,
yeah, like when there's no context behind it.
Yeah, I was like, it's a bit far. He was like, bro, Stormzy? I went, yeah, bro, cool. I'm there.
I'm already outside.
Yeah, I'm already outside. So yeah, that come about, which was amazing because I like Stormzy. I listen to his music.
Yeah.
Again, another moment where it was just like so surreal, man. Like, I'm just a guy that started a business just cleaning cars, and now I'm mixing with like the likes of Stormzy. But again, that's down to Jan. He obviously trusts me enough to put me in front of people like that. That's another thing.
100%.
It's not just the fact of I'm associated with Visionaries. There's a reason why I'm associated with Visionaries. Jan, I believe, wouldn't have anyone working on his cars, let alone clients.
Yeah.
So straight away, automatically, having that association, I feel like the trust is automatically there. So if you don't know who I am and you see me cleaning Jan's car, it's like, well, who's this guy cleaning Jan's cars? Because if he's good enough to clean Jan's car, he's good enough to clean my car.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's another part to play.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, it's been amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like proper. Like it does. It sounds like absolutely amazing. To be fair, so you've got a guy that works for you at the minute. You were saying,
yeah.
Have you employed him recently or?
So he's been with me, I want to say, over 18 months. Probably coming up, closing 2 years now.
Right. And how have you found that process of employing people and taking people on?
Difficult, very hard.
What do you find hard about it?
Maybe I overcomplicate things. Just, how can I put it, George? Because where I am now, and the level of clients I've got, and the cars that we work on, and the surroundings, and where we're at, I can't have anyone turn up.
Yeah. Fully understand that.
Yeah. So I've dealt with people and had people work for me and work with me. Let's go with, I'll give you an example. I know, and I like to feel like I can adjust my tone when I'm talking to someone. So when I come out of here and I'm talking to my mate on the phone, yeah, bro, what's going on? You cool? Yeah. What's good? What are we saying later?
Yeah. The energy goes up.
The energy goes up.
Yeah.
Now, some people, unfortunately, they don't know how to adjust the energy. They're one tone.
Yes.
So they carry that whole the tone of, what's going on, bro? You can't take that energy to some of my clients. You can't do it. Because I'm getting a call saying, who is this guy you just sent to me? So just the little small details like that, I've got to think about. Maybe when I first started, I wouldn't be thinking about them as much. But right now, that's the levels. You got to be passionate.
You have, yeah.
In anything you do.
Yeah.
I've learned that not the hard way, but...
Well, you've always been passionate, ain't you?
I've always been passionate, like in regards to what I do.
Yeah. Maybe in the right environment.
Yeah.
Like in your some of the environments where it was like you were door knocking, I can't imagine there was
not too much.
Not much.
But I'd always give it my all.
Yeah, there was always the like the resilience and the perseverance of like trying to do what you got to do.
Exactly that.
But the passion's a whole nother level of something. So I do understand that. People see that twinkle in your eye where it's like, but I think like because you've like hit that that ceiling, it's like how you take it to that. Yeah. What's the future for distinctive detailing? Is it because you're in a place? You're in a very familiar place, aren't you? So it's either go and grow or stay the same. And
yeah. So the last, obviously established 2018, it's been going for 4 years now. The business, I found the way I've operated hasn't been healthy in the respect of I've been going around in a circle because I work so hard and I am out there cleaning cars. I could have days like 13 to 15 hour days, and that's me going out there cleaning cars. Forget all the emails and the Instagram and the social side of things. So where I've always been the kind of person to grow and wanting to grow and to have more vans on the road, I find it very difficult because I'm going around in a circle over here. Even though I know what the right thing is and I feel like I know how to grow it, it's just kicking back a bit and having time to be able to even have a conversation with someone and employing someone. I haven't even had that time.
Yeah.
George, 6 months ago, I wouldn't even be here in this podcast. I'll be on the road now working. I was only focused on working. But we got to a point where we're so busy, it's been hectic, mate.
Yeah.
So now I'm taking a different approach. I'm like, spend some time or spend, I don't know, whatever it may be, an hour here, so you can locate a task. Just basically spending my time a bit more wisely.
100%.
Yeah. So for me to be able to grow, I need to look at my time now.
100.
I can't be on the road for 15-hour days. No. Today was a reasonable day, 7 hours, 8 hours. That allows me then to do an hour, 2 hours, concentrate on something. Do that. Yeah. And that's going back, that might even be a personal thing. That might be even going to the gym.
Yeah.
That might be socialising with my friends. Whatever that is, I'm allowing myself now more time to be able to grow on a personal level and a business. But that's a new thing for me.
Yeah.
And people might look at that and go, well, 1 minute, you've done this, you've done that, but you've only got 2 vans on the road. When really, I could have 5.
Yeah, of course.
But I haven't been able to do that because I've been so obsessed and focused on just being on the road and working and serving my clients. So
it's almost like you're in this place where it's like you've got to re-find yourself. Start a bit more self-care, because I think entrepreneurs have natural issues where they just make it all about everything else, whether it's the client, the employee, like the business, whatever it is, and you deteriorate over time with that.
Yeah.
So naturally, like, you got to recharge yourself and like come back.
You've got to take a moment.
Yeah.
That's what I've never done, taking a moment. I've always just run myself into the ground, burnt out. Mental health's always been, well, not I say always, especially over the last couple of years where I've just been consistent with it. And doing long days, it's very physical, let alone mental. The mental strain that it puts on you.
It's like our passion is also a curse at the same time, because we're so like driven towards something that, things start falling apart and we don't realise in it.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, like so I really understand it. But you know what, like, I like the concept of doing what you did, going ham, going like push really, really hard, take a step back, re-sort things out, and then go again. Yeah. And I feel like you're in that bit of taking a step back. So take a step back, take 2 steps forward. Yeah. And like, that's okay, like, because you've just smashed it like in the last 3-4 years and done what you've done.
Yeah.
And then now you're going to be like, all right, I'm going to have a bit of compassion towards myself for a change. Made it about everyone else. Now I'm going to make it about myself. And then when that's full again, you can like see what's going to kind of happen next.
When I'm full, I'm nearly there.
Yeah.
I'm so confident. Listen, the vision and the dream is I would like to say that I'm looked upon in the industry or in regards to mobile valeting and detailing, we're there. Like, people know who we are.
100%.
Yeah, I get, like, without sounding big-headed, I get stopped on the street. People know the brand now.
Yeah.
And we've got 2 vans.
That's brilliant.
When there's 10, 15 vans out on the road, that's where I want to be at. I want to be... Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And
So
you can. Like, there's nothing stopping you.
Yeah, it's very achievable.
It just goes back to having the right people. And, like, there's that saying about you got to break a few eggs to make an omelette. Like... Literally. So no, I think you've definitely got it in you to, like. I think Cyprus will be like really good. You said you're going back there soon.
Yeah, I'm going back there in like a couple of weeks' time. Yeah, that'll be nice.
When you come back, you're gonna be like,
you're gonna. I'm in a good frame of mind now. I'm gonna be in Cyprus. Give me a few like days by myself.
Yeah.
Away. That's when I really start thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, you know what? Now's the time.
But one thing I would say, like a bit of advice, is like entrepreneurship, like. Self-care is so important, and if you don't, so when you come back, it's really important. Carry on going to the gym, like look after yourself mentally, whatever, spiritually, financially, whatever it is, because then everybody gets the best energy of Deano. Like, and it's that you can't pour from an empty cup mentality. So it's really important that to take this next level, like you got to level up and make sure you're responsible in the right ways.
I'm more excited about the journey now than I've ever been.
Yeah. Do you know what? I'm excited for you, to be fair.
I feel like I've got myself back. I've struggled from time to time, but now I feel like I'm in a really good place to really excel, man, and push this business where it deserves to be, because, yeah, man.
I love that, man.
Yeah, I just got a sank in my throat, because, not emotional,
nah, that's all right.
Man, I'm good.
Yeah, it's exciting.
Now, let's go.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, man.
I'm happy for you, man.
I appreciate it, bro.
Yeah, so don't be too hard on yourself and keep doing what you're doing, man. Like, but honestly, like, I've had a really good chat. Do you know what?
It's been nice, man.
I have to admit, this is like probably one of the best chats I feel like I've had on like most of the podcasts. But don't tell the other guests that.
No, of course not. This is my first ever podcast as well, man. Like, it's my first ever podcast, so
yeah, I really enjoyed it, and like it's amazing your story, bro. So hopefully it's been quite inspirational to other people. So you know, thank you for coming.
Appreciate
you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you
so much, bro. Thank you.
And we might have to do a part 2 next year or something.
We're coming back.
Yeah. 100%. Look forward to hearing all about it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.